Anthony Williams, the medical medium, live. Told you I'd be here. Got the liver rescue right here. Going to be talking about foods. Going to be talking about this right here coming up. This little baby here, pitaya. Some people call it pitaya. Going to talk about how it works with the liver. What happens? There's an apple on the front cover. That's good for the liver too. I might talk about that this time as well. Going to talk about a bunch of different foods inside Liver Rescue right here, what they do for the liver. It's critical to know what a food does for your liver. It's so important to know what it does for your liver. There's a lot of reasons why. Your liver's working that hard for you. It needs that much help. I'm going to tell you right now, all of the work that your liver does day in and out makes your liver hungry. It makes it hungry. That's what happens. Talk about what happens with your liver right now. There's a river of blood. Imagine this river of blood. It's blood. It's rushing up into your liver. So when you eat food and you're exposed and you're breathing and you're exposed to different kinds of contaminants, fungicides, pesticides, herbicides, different poisons, solvents, spray cleaners, air fresheners, makeups, everything else that happens, we end up eating pretty much everything one way or another, along with our food on top of it, not to mention foods you might have eaten years and years ago that were toxic in different ways, and still foods that you might be eating now that are toxic. All these things that are in foods and in other exposure. When's the last time you had a can of tuna? Did you have a can of tuna 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago? The amount of mercury that's in there, all these different things, both nutrients that are in food, plus all the toxins and poisons that are in our environment or exposed to through food and everything, ends up, including prescription drugs. If you ever had to take a prescription drug or you're on drugs of any kind, regardless, recreational, prescription, different kinds of exposure, all that stuff ends up down into the gut, deep down inside, and then it goes up through the walls of the intestinal tract and colon, and it goes up the hepatic portal vein, the highway. It goes up the highway up into your liver. That's where it goes. And then when it gets close to the liver, there's all these hard-working worker bees. You got your liver's immune system defending you nonstop and working hard. And your liver's producing that immune system all the time. And then you got these little liver cells. They're liver lobules. I call them elves. There's these liver elves. That's how I call them. So we all can kind of relate to them. They're like working in a toy factory, basically. All that blood, that river of blood that's rushing up into your liver. I'm going to be talking about pitaya. This is where it comes up pretty soon. Comes rushing up into the liver. All that's happening, these elves are working hard, separating, sorting out everything. It's like basically sorting things out of the river, of that river of blood. Here's poisons, we'll put those poisons here. Here's pesticides, we'll put those here. Here's fungicides, we'll put those here. Air freshener poisons, that you got from the dentist office. Mercury from this and that. All these different chemicals and toxins and metals and poisons and nutrients, phytochemical compounds that are in pitaya, phytochemical compounds that are in apple, like on the cover of the book, phytochemical compounds that are in like the wild blueberry. And these elves are all sorting these out, grabbing onto them. Imagine a river and some bears, some grizzlies that are ready to catch a salmon jumping upstream, and the bear, right? You've seen that? And the bear grabs the salmon. You got all these hard-working liver cells, these elves, these liver lobules, and they're catching all these nutrients, and they're trying to get their food, and they're trying to get the poisons too. They're carting the poisons up. They're storing them down deep inside the liver. I talk about the deep side of the liver, the inner core, subsurface, and the perimeter of the liver. I talk about that. You guys know all about that probably by now. Have you been getting the books? Are you reading this or what? I mean, you just started reading Liver Rescue now? Thank you. So what happens is pitaya has something to help your liver so it doesn't starve. It's got something in it that's going to help your liver. And I'm going to cut one open right here. I had one right there. It's already cut, but I'm cut one open. There's the pitaya right here. I'm going to open it right here. There's the dragon fruit as we speak. There it is. That's the dragon fruit. Now, fresh dragon fruit's hard to get. I'm going to talk about where you can get it, what other kind of options you have, but you got to hang in there because you got to learn about the liver a little bit. It's that important so you can know what's going on. There's nutrients and phytochemical compounds in here. I talk a little fast today. These phytochemical compounds drive up in that river of blood, right in the stream. They enter into your liver. Those liver lobules, those ELVs, are collecting the nutrients, these phytochemical compounds, and using them so your liver doesn't starve. The power of the pitaya overrides any beets, so you need to know that. The one thing it's really sad about information out there about health, information about well-being, information when it comes down to medical stuff, to your organs, to your liver. The information is anemic out there, terribly anemic and sparse and spare and totally, there's not a lot out there. And so pitaya overrides beets. Beets do not do what people think beets do for the liver. That's an old myth. They don't touch the liver compared to so many other foods. Tomatoes are more important for your liver than a beet. Tomatoes. Wild blueberries remove toxic heavy metals out of your liver, and a beet can't. That's the power I'm talking about. And the pitaya, let's go into it a little bit of what the pitaya can do. It's a really powerful one. It restores cells. It rejuvenates the liver through its red pigment. It's different than the beet. The red pigment in pitaya is stronger, more powerful, much more, let's say, approachable to the liver. The beet pigment is harder on the liver to absorb and utilize. The pitaya pigment's easy. You know, when something's easy on your body, do you ever experience that? Like, when you go outside and you have the sun touch you on a nice kind of day where the weather's not too hot, it's not too cool, and it just feels easy on the body versus something else. Anything that's easy to do or easy in your life, imagine that with pitaya, because that's how the liver views it. It's an easy way to feed those ELVs, to feed those liver cells, to restore your liver. It brings cells back to life. That's what the pitaya does. It brings cells back to life. It's the fountain of youth for the liver. It's one of the most powerful fountain of youth for the liver, and that's what I love about it. You know, so it helps to basically reverse disease in the liver, and I'm going to talk more about the pitaya too, and then cover a few other things. This is frozen pitaya. You can go into stores. You can go into Costco's and look for Walmart, Target. You can look for the frozen stuff. You can put it in a smoothie. There's a smoothie that I'm going to talk about too coming up as well. I got the recipe right here in Liver Rescue. There's a smoothie. You'll see the dragon fruit right there. It's part of 369, but get the book. Don't just go out and buy pitaya and don't have the book yet and stuff. The thing is, when you try to cut corners like that, you lose out in so many ways. You don't know what the healing foods do. So, and that's just a fraction of it. You have to know how to use it, what's the best way to use it, how to do it in the whole bit. What I like about it, it's smooth, no acid. It's not tart, smooth. That's what it is. So if you ever think about something being smooth, a food that you like, maybe some ice cream. Is ice cream smooth when it goes down, which you shouldn't be eating ice cream? Well, unless it's like a banana ice cream or something like that. The pitaya is actually smooth, and it's kind of like silky. It's easy. It tastes good. It's not like, it doesn't have this dominating taste of any kind. It doesn't have a crazy level of tartness, nothing like that. It's easy on the system. It's easy with the tummy. It's, you know, when you have a funny tummy or you're concerned about your tummy, it's easy on all of those things. It's amazing. So you can get frozen. You can get frozen pitaya. You can buy it at a case at a time. You can find that. You can get the powdered stuff. You can go to medicalmedium.com. You'll find probably the powder somewhere on there. Medicalmedium.com, so you know, you can take a look at it. Costco's, Walmart, Target probably have stuff like that. Plus, you can, you know, but fresh dragon fruit, harder to find. People find white dragon fruit a lot easier, so they find the white dragon fruit. People are going to probably be asking all the time about that. You can use that. It does help the liver. It is good, but not as good as the red. So if you can't find the fresh, or it's a certain time of year where you can't find the fresh for some reason, just get the frozen. Simple as that. Get the powder. Simple as that. So that's options right there. So I just wanted to cover that. So let's go into some more foods really quick about Liver Rescue, some other powerful foods. What I like about this book is I talk about all the different foods. There's so many of them and what they do for the liver. Don't you want to know what something can do for your health, for different illnesses, different conditions, your liver and everything else? Don't you guys want to do that? You know, the one thing about it is guessing. No one wants to guess. You know, when you go through your life, Who wants to guess? I guess my car is parked somewhere down the road. I guess it is. No, you either know your car is parked down there or not. No one wants to be guessing everything. Yeah, I guess that's how it goes. I guess when it comes down to health, just don't guess anymore. I wrote this so we don't have to guess. That's the whole point. It's so critical. I talk about all the different foods and what they do. Apricots, artichokes, arugula, what it does for your liver, and I talk about all that. Asparagus. Let me read a little bit about asparagus. Asparagus brings order to a chaotic, sick liver. Reading it right out of here. It strengthens the liver's immune system. So asparagus instantly strengthens the liver's immune system. Really important. Help dislodges fat cells. What happens is our livers, they get fat way before we get the fat on us, way before we gain those unwanted pounds. The liver gains that unwanted pound first. That's how it works. The liver gets sluggish, it gets stagnant. Almost everybody is walking around with a pre-fatty liver, or almost everybody is walking around with a fatty liver. That's how it works. Asparagus pushes out those fat cells. That's something it does. And remember, anything that a food does for your liver, you need other foods also to help rejuvenate the liver. That's why the pitaya is so important. It's a rejuvenator to the liver. It's one of the big deals to it. I talk about what bananas do for the liver, berries, sea vegetables, Brussels sprouts. I talk about that. I talk about cherry, cilantro, carrots, what they even can do, because people like carrots. What they can do for the liver, coarse celery, the good old celery juice, coconut, cranberries, all that kind of stuff. Cucumbers, figs, garlic. Talk about Jerusalem artichokes, what they do for the liver. Jerusalem artichokes, eggplant, yes, eggplant. The actual nightshade everybody's afraid of. Dates, figs, I talk about that. Mangoes, maple syrup, onions, garlic. Oranges, kale, kiwis, I talk about what these. Do you guys like any of these foods, or you don't like any of these foods at all? Just curious. Parsley, papayas, peaches, I talk about that. Pears, pineapples, raw honey, the whole bit. Potatoes. Potatoes have these amino acids. There's certain one lysine. It has that lysine in it that actually heals viral conditions inside the liver. So I talk about the radishes, the raw honey right here. Spinach acts like basically the spinach is incredible. It really supports the 2,000 chemical functions that the liver has. That's a really powerful thing. Tomatoes. You know what? The thing is people actually build up gallstones is what they do. They can be on the best diets out there and gallstones are building, because when your liver's toxic and it's stagnant and people don't know, you guys, and we walk around like that, what happens is all that sludge inside the liver has to come up into the gallbladder. It comes up into the gallbladder, it cools down, and it forges stones. Stones are produced, of course, right there in the gallbladder. They're produced. And what happens is when stones are in the gallbladder, what are we going to use to actually get rid of them? How are we going to dissolve them? How are you going to protect yourself? Well, tomatoes, one of the most powerful gallbladder healers. That's what they do. When people are against tomatoes, it's heartbreaking because they don't know the power they have and what can happen. They literally can reduce a gallstone inside your gallbladder. That's what the tomatoes have, that kind of power. So it's incredible how it works and what's so important about foods. So I talk about turmeric and then, of course, wild blueberries, what they have, the power they have. The whole thing is this is like a reference book for the liver, so you stay motivated, inspired. And when you know how your liver's immune system works, you know how the processing works with all the blood coming in, you know how those liver lobule elves are working really hard, you know how your liver's starving and when it gets fed and how you need to feed it. When you know all these things, you can stay on track. That's what Liver Rescue's for. It's to keep you on track, to make sure that you're working on healing. And that's the deal. So when it comes down to pitaya, you can go back here in the book. You'll find recipes all through here. There's the Liver Rescue smoothie right here. There's the pitaya I was talking about before, and you can actually figure it out. And there's more recipes in the book, so you can actually take care of your liver. That's the whole point. And you can go and look at what the foods are doing. And when the thing is that's really powerful, you can do two things. When you know a food is working for your liver, when you know a food is working for you and your liver, it amps up the power of the healing inside your liver, because your liver knows it's getting support. When the liver knows that you're supporting it and you're actually learning about it, it's like what happened when someone figured something out about you that you wanted them to know? You wanted them to know how, like, who you are as a person. You know, you wanted someone to understand you. I mean, isn't there somebody in your life that you just want to, that you want them to actually not misunderstand you? You want them to understand you and know the kind of good person you are and everything else, and know the good things you do and know a little bit about you. And or when you're just talking to someone, and don't you want them to like kind of like know who you are and just understand you? Well, your liver has been dying and living to understand you. That's what it's been doing. It breaks down through life. We don't understand it. We don't really care about it too much. And we let it down all through our life while it doesn't let us down until it starts breaking down, and it still doesn't let us down when it's breaking down. And your whole life, your liver's been wanting to understand you. And what happens is when you finally understand your liver for the first time in your life, where you really know what's going on and you read those 500 pages, start from the beginning, okay? Don't jump around. Just don't go right to the pitaya recipe. And you actually know what your liver's doing for you every day. Something happens with literally how you think and how that relates, because your liver's smart. It picks up how you're thinking, it picks up how you're feeling, it picks up you, and it understands there's a connection to your immune system, to information coming from your brain through your nervous system directly via to your liver. Messages are passed, information's passed, and what happens is your liver knows you care, and it knows you finally are learning something about it, and you're finally understanding it, so it's not alone. You know, when we go alone through life and someone doesn't understand you, or someone doesn't understand what you're about, or what you're doing, or what you're trying to create in a project, or what you're doing in work, or however it is, it's not a good feeling. And your liver actually wants to be understood for the first time in your life. Whether you're 20 years old, whether you're young, whether you're old, your liver wants to understand you for the first time in your life, and it wants to be fed, just like when we're like, oh, what do I feel like eating today? Wait a minute. And then someone or a loved one says, how would you like this? How would you like that? And you just, they understand me, and that's what I want to eat. Your liver wants to eat foods it needs. I talk about it all in the book. And it's so important right here, everything about it, so you can alleviate all the different conditions, all the different illnesses that are so people are suffering with, so many people are suffering with, and to be understood for the first time, your liver, and to actually connect with your mind, knowing that that mind-body connection really does exist. I hear about that all the time, the mind-body connection, the mind-body connection, but what is the mind-body connection? Is it just kind of like connecting to your body? Or is the mind-body connection really connecting to the most important organ in your body, understanding it, knowing how it works, knowing how to feed it so it can actually do something for you and heal? Isn't that the mind-body experience? It is. That's the most profound mind-body experience there is. And I like that mind-body experience because I know what it does. It heals you and moves you forward, and it changes your life. You guys, no more guessing anymore, okay? No more guessing. We get it right. That's the whole point. And we work on the smoothie. We work on everything. We can do the 369 cleanse. You guys, stay inspired. I love you like you can't believe. I know what you go through. I know how hard you guys work. You love the book and you can't put it down? Thank you. When I hear that, when I hear the person cannot put it down, when I hear you can't put it down, I'm blown away. You're getting the book today. Blows my mind that you're getting the book today. It really does. You need this book? Yes. You know what's funny? Even though I wrote the book with Spirit and I still need it every day. You know what I mean? I still need it. I read it every day right now. And I absolutely love what I'm reading, of course. Listen, I love you guys. I'm going to see you on the next live. Can't wait, all right? So keep your notifications on. It's the only way you can pick me off when I jump on. Let's get it right the first time, somebody said. Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bless you. God bless you.